Good evening. Today I'm doing it very late in the evening. Hi, my name is Wanjiku Mirigi, a counseling psychologist. Month of Proverbs. Tomorrow will mark halfway through the month. For me, this is a win. It's a small win. And for everyone who's been following, congratulations for coming this far. The topic about narcissism, toxicity in partners, and abuse. It's become such a big thing. Like, it's so big. And sometimes it can be so sad that you will listen to someone, and for me, because I'm a psychologist, it no longer looks like a far-fetched story. See, it's no longer a story ya jabba. It's not a fake story. Because you listen to what people are going through and you're like, yo, like, why and how? Okay, first, why are you still staying? And as a therapist, I will not ask you, mbona hujatoka? It's not up to me to make you leave. It's your choice. And also seeing that there are people who've been in such situations, relationships, marriages, for 20 years plus, for almost 50 years, and they still say, I will walk out, I will leave, and the day I leave, I'm not coming back. And you look and you're like, but you've been there for so long, and you're still waiting and expecting for a change. And today it feels like it's worst. It's the worst. It's worst among Christians because of also the phrase of God hates divorce. Yeah, yes, God hates divorce because he's the one who brought the whole idea of marriages of man and woman based on the book of Genesis. And yes, there's an expectation that every time that we say I do, because it's a covenant you're making before God and before man, and God being a covenant keeping God, that even us, we shall keep the covenant. I know it's God's will and desire for us to be married to and marry the right partner. But with freedom and free will comes a lot of responsibility, where sometimes we take it for granted. Like deciding to be married to someone is such a big decision, and sometimes we take it as a joke. Like for me, when I was getting there, that's a story that we need to share. It was about what I didn't grow up with. It was about my children having an experience that I didn't have, and I didn't know that just because I desire, just because I want this thing, will not make me shielded, or is not going to save me from anything that is negative in that situation. And it's not just me, but it's many people who go in with such a thought. And we no longer have the older woman teaching the younger one. I think it was Paul who said it, that we need to have the older woman needs to teach the younger woman on the ways of life, on the ways of God, and the ways of this marriage. And we no longer have responsible, truly God-fearing men like before. They are there, yes, but they do not stand out as before. And I am finding in my practice and in the many times that I talk to people, that many, many fathers have walked away. Many, many fathers are not involved in the lives of their children. And not that every father is bad or every father is a narcissist, especially like not every that has walked out is like this. But you will find women who have literally pushed the men out, not only from them or their relationships, but also from them having a relationship with their children. Interestingly is that today Proverbs 14 opens with, "The wise woman is one who builds her house, but a foolish one tears it down with her hands." As I've stated enough times, now I don't even know how many times I've said this, toxic, abusive, narcissistic partners are not only men, but we also have women. And the word of God being as true as it is, the many years that this book was written, they knew that there will come a time as this in the 21st century when narcissism will be a big thing, and we will not only point fingers towards the men, but also that the women are. And it's evident here. Both the man and the woman who are narcissistic, who are abusive, who are toxic, have very similar character, I will not even say similar, they have the same characteristics. They do the things the same way. The thing is that a woman is going to take advantage because of her emotions. And when a woman cries out here, us saying and her pretending that she's been hit or it's this and the other, we will believe. So even when the man comes out to say, "Hey, yo, it's not like this," it becomes hard for society to think it otherwise. But I'm not saying that either is innocent or more guilty than the other. No. I'm just saying that both of them can. And today specifically, the woman is being told, "You be foolish. You're tearing your house with your hands." And we find that sometimes someone who's been abused, a victim, will stay in the relationship, will stay in the marriage. These ones who are like 50 plus, and you're like, but why? Like, for how long? And what are you waiting for? So that's where I was going with Christianity and God hating divorce, but not the people. Because what has been preached, like this, I had it in church. I would hear it, and I knew, like, even when hey, when it was that time, you're like, divorce is not going to be part of the vocabulary. But in the heart of the other person, they know who they are. Wolf in sheepskin. Yes, that's how we say it. And because, like now, an example of me and many other women, being that you have not been raised in what we say, quote unquote, complete family, you can almost do anything to stay in it. And we find that society has preached God hates divorce for the longest. But what they don't tell you is that even in New Testament, there are those conditions that have been put there for you to walk away, to separate. And also, I don't know why we are not getting there, of where the fool is one who sees danger but keeps walking on that path. Let me use it here, but I know it's coming there. However, in chapter 14, the other thing that can make someone stay is the confidence that a toxic, abusive, narcissistic human being has. I am laughing because have you ever been, because this is what has come to my mind, in the streets of Nairobi at night, the hawkers, when they are selling something to you and they know kabisa this thing is in a bad condition, but they will convince you that your eyes are seeing wrong. They're the ones who know, and they are selling to you, "Madam, this thing is legit, is the thing." And that is how a narcissistic is. They will convince you, "Wanjiko, me, I did that. You're the one who likes overreacting. Every day, anything that I say, you just want to cry." And you start feeling and thinking that you're such an emotional human being who has no control over your emotions. And then the person is left as the winner, quote unquote, because they've convinced you you're so wrong. Did I say that? You just like gaslighting me. And you believe that you're the one who's been gaslighting this human being in this whole your relationship, because now gaslighting is the new, it's okay, it's not so new, but we are misusing the word, just like the way we are misusing narcissism, toxicity, abuse, because we like throwing words away. It's like the way when guys start talking about depression and someone would say, oh my God, I'm so depressed. But it's just to express how they are feeling at the particular moment. So we'll find that a narcissist partner is so confident in their lies, in their torture, in their belief, in making you feel like you are crazy, that you also start falling into the trap and believing their narrative to be your narrative. So you find that you've been convinced here and you have apologized. Then tomorrow during the day when you're by yourself, you start replaying that conversation and you're like, I know. No. Or is it true that I'm that crazy? And you promise yourself that in the evening, you will confront, or on the day that both of you are there, you're going to confront and you will stand by your word. But the games that they play, you can't go top and beyond. This is why you need help. It's why you need to take a step back and be like, yo, what was all that about? You know, you don't need to question so much. And also, I understand, because this is someone that you've poured yourself to 100%. This is someone who knows the core, your soul. But because they always have something up your sleeves, you don't get to know their soul as much as they know yours. All right? And then also it says, you know how, but there are two sides of this thing. There is a certain movie, I forget what it was called. Jennifer Lopez was the main character, and she was in an abusive relationship. And that's the movie that I can remember that I watched of a woman being abused. And I always believe that you kick back and you come like that, but reality is different. So in this movie, what they always used to show is that when the guy would abuse her, and he will do it like you would think there are two men. I don't want to say fighting, but it's a man and a man fighting. The one man is beating the other man because of how merciless this guy used to be. And now what we'll record is that anytime that someone is in an abusive relationship, the partner always apologizes. Please take a seat and listen to me loudly and clearly. They don't all apologize. Some will twist it that at the end of the day, you will look back and you're like, a whole 30 years I was married. That man never apologized. That woman never apologized. It was always me coming down, being the more mature one because I want peace. But the other person doesn't want. And so they will come with a face of never doing it again, not making you feel a certain way, promising that if you behave differently, then they will be different. Promising that they're going to seek help. Promising that never again will it happen. But the thing about this is that Proverbs 14 is telling us, you remember we spoke about mocker. Now this mocker, that when you try to correct is going to also mock you, apparently they also don't receive wisdom. It's my reaction is because I know that when you pray for wisdom, God who gives without finding fault will give it to you. However, Proverbs 14 is saying, a mocker will not find wisdom. And I think also it's because of the state of their heart. You remember the characteristics of the 7 things that God really hates is still in them. And if at all they will change, it's not because they want to be better, but it's because they want to get more. So then I guess it becomes quite hard. And there's also a warning that it gives us. Proverbs 14. The poor is shunned even by their own relatives. So based on the things that we have discussed of what a narcissistic, toxic, abusive partner will do to you, because now you no longer have, do I call it financial freedom or even financial access? You have no access to finances. That every time you're complaining, and you'll find that the people who will walk away so many times, but they keep going back. And please don't never blame someone who keeps going back. Like, the situation is very deep. As I've said, this is someone who knows you to the core of your soul. And you see, two become one. And I explained that one yesterday, of two becoming one, there's children. And in society, there's this thing of upholding marriage. Even, like, you're just supposed to stick it in and walk in, die like a man. But some situations are completely a no-no. So if you're the kind of person who's walked out and keeps going back so many times, you have no penny to your name. This person has complete dominion over you. It's likely that you may look around and feel that there's no one who's going to help you. It is also likely that even those who would want to help you have given up or thrown in the towel of helping you. And not because they don't want to, but it's also because that sometimes they feel extremely helpless in the situation. Because on the outside we see, on the inside you don't. Like, it's become such a normal thing. And it's like putting a frog in water, in boiling water. You don't put it in the water when it's already boiling. You put it in cold temperature water, and then you start boiling it. So by the time it's realizing that it's burning, maybe half of it is already burned, because the change has been so gradual, which is the same thing with this kind of relationships. So not only poor in terms of finances, but also poor in terms of self-image, self-value. What can you do with yourself? Where can you go? What confidence do you have? What skills do you have? How much or how desperate are you to get out? What do you think will happen when you get out? Or do you feel that out of this wall, you can't be anything? So, Proverbs 14 is more about, of course, the woman, which is the opening part of her being foolish and being wise. Where are you in that? And then also for us on this other side is, why does someone stay? What causes them to stay? When you've never been in a narcissistic, toxic, abusive relationship, it can be very hard for you to understand why someone is staying. It can be so hard for you to understand why is it hard for them to also walk out. But if you've been in it, you get it, you know. And you know the tools that you can give someone so that they can also get out. And even if you've been out for a while, it's also easy for you to be pulled back in, because this was your normal for some time. So if you have seen anyone in this kind of a situation, this kind of a relationship, where for you, like, the boxes are ticking, this is toxic, this is abusive, this is narcissistic, be patient, hold their hand, walk with them, but build in confidence, build them. When you build someone, the scales of their eyes just pop open, and it becomes just slightly easier for someone to start life afresh, to walk out, and to build something with themselves. Thank you for following. Thank you for today. It's special. It's become really interesting. So kindly keep sharing. Kindly make comments, even if it's just liking, even if it's saying, "Ah, Wanjiko, there you've missed the point." But kindly do communicate. Do comment and share. And I hope you learn. And I hope there's something in you that is awakening, not only for yourself, but also for somebody else in your life. So that is it for 14th. We shall see you tomorrow on the 15th. And let me tell you, the next 16 days will move very fast because now we already will be past mid-month. Thank you and bye.